Okay, so let's start discussing on ANT today. If you see the screen in the ANT download, if you are on a Windows system, download the zip. If you are on a Linux system, download the tar file. Then once you download ANT, you also need to have Java JDK installed in your system for ANT to run. So go to Java download section. This is the Java download section. In that, click on JDK 7U7. Accept the license agreement and then download your Java binaries as per your operating systems. And once you download, now we need to install both ANT and Java in your system. Now that you have downloaded, we need to set up Java and ANT in your system. So how do we do that? Java is purely an exe, as you can see here. Where you need to, or it's an RPM or it's a zip file, where you need to just double click on it, it will execute and Java will be installed in your system. So for installing Java, there is no configuration steps involved. Once you install Java, if you follow default options, generally you will find it Java in C program files, Java you will find the JDK installed. Based on the update that you are installing, corresponding update will be installed in this particular location. You would be getting a zip like this. So what you need to do is extract this zip. Extract to some location, whether it is C drive or D drive, extract it to some location. Say create a folder ANT and into that folder you extract. My suggestion is to keep the path small. Okay, don't put into desktop and you have to say C program file, C document settings and then blah 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 and then you reach ANT. Don't have such long paths. Okay, put in C drive or D drive. Keep it simple. Keep the path simple. So as you can see, ANT is getting extracted now. Once you extract ANT, you will be seeing path like this, where you will have a folder like this. Inside this you will have bin, lib, manual and so on. Okay, once you install ANT, now you need to set, after you extract ANT, you need to do 3 steps. Let me explain you the 3 steps. Those are paths, those are the environment variable settings. So how do you set an environment variable? Go to my computer, right click, properties, then you have advanced system settings, then you have environment variables. Now you need to add an environment variable called ant_home. Click on new system variable ant_home and you give the download location, and you give the location to which you have extracted ANT up to here, where you see bin etc lib this structure up to here. You take you copy the full path, okay, and then place it in the environment variable and click OK. That is how you set ant_home. Step number 2 is to set the environment variable Java_home. Okay. So again, my computer, properties, advanced system settings, environment variables, new system variable. Set a variable as Java underscore home. Now go to the location where you have installed Java. By default it will be in C program files. C program files, Java, JDK. Up to here you need to take. Up to JDK you need to have in your Java home. Okay. So go ahead and paste this path, click OK. In that way, Java home environment variable will be set. The third step is to update the path environment variable with the location of the ANT bin files. Okay, ANT bin files are here. So you need to update the path variable with this bin folder, with the path up to this bin folder. Remember, path is not a new variable. Path is an existing environment variable. So don't click on new, click on edit. Because path is extremely important. Don't corrupt it. Go to My Computer, Properties, Advanced System Settings, Environment Variables. Then if you open System Variable section, here you see path variable. Path is a system variable. I reiterate that. So don't click on new, click on edit. Select the path variable and click edit. Okay. You will see lot of things inside that. Let them be as it is. Go to the end. Go to the very end. Place a semicolon. And then place your path up to bin. That's all. That is what you have to do. This will set the ANT in your path. The next question is, how do we know if ANT is correctly installed? So go to command prompt, okay, and type ANT. If you have done those 3 steps correctly, okay, go to any location in command prompt and type ANT. It says build file build.xml does not exist, which means that there is no build.xml in this particular directory C users PC1. Okay, that is a different problem. Okay. But it is able to recognize what to do when you type ANT. On the other hand, if you have not installed ANT properly, then you will get the message here ANT is not recognized as an internal or external command. So if you are getting that message, which means in updating the path, you have done some mistake in either of those 3 steps. If you have done those 3 steps correctly, if you type ANT in any location, it says something like this. Build.xml said build failed. Failure pass is different, but ultimately it is working. That is what I want you to understand. So this will be the kind of agenda that we will set up. What is ANT? Why to use it? How do you install and execute ANT? So basic ANT terminology and so on. Okay. Now what is ANT? ANT is a build tool, which is written on top of Java. Okay. So the advantage is Java being platform independent, ANT has that feature. You write ANT script in one system, the same script can run on multiple operating systems. So generally, if somebody asks you what is ANT, the best answer you can say is another neat tool. Okay. So what is ANT? ANT is implemented in Java. ANT is open source, which means anybody can download it under GPL and you can use it. General license and you can use it. ANT is cross-platform and ANT is portable. Finally, the bottom line is ANT is not a programming language. So don't think it doesn't have a lot of baggage that a programming language gets to you. Okay, so it's not a programming language. Now, builds run on both Windows and Linux. Wherever there is Java installed, ANT should run. Even though the same script can run on multiple operating systems, still you can say I want this task to run on Windows, I want this task to run on Linux. You can still separate these tasks based on OS level. You can extend it easily. So, okay, so what are all the things that ANT can do as part of its build tool capabilities? ANT can get source code from version control system. Okay, if your code is in Subversion, which you all know, it can go and get the latest checkout from Subversion. It can commit to Subversion. Okay, it can check the status of Subversion projects. So it can get the source code, step number 1. Step number 2, it can compile the source code. If your Java code, it can compile them automatically. Then it can run the unit test cases, and it will compile and it will package the code as well. Package it can be a jar file or a WR file, web archive or a zip, whatever it may be. Okay, so ANT can fetch your source code, ANT can compile your source code, ANT can bundle your source code, and it can run the unit tests, all this in an automated manner. All this in an automated manner. What do we mean by build automation? Automated builds are a best practice. Somebody makes a change and a button click, I should be able to take the build, I should be able to test it, and I should be able to give the feedback. How good is this change? Automated builds improve productivity, which is a valid point. Then automated builds you can trigger from other tools, like you can set, if you are in a Linux machine, there is a cron task which is used for scheduling. You can use it with cron tab to run night builds, or you can use continuous integration tools like Cruisecontrol or Hudson or Jenkins, either of these to trigger the builds. So to summarize, ANT is a software tool for automating the software build process. It is implemented in Java and requires Java platform and best suited for building Java projects. For the .NET projects, a similar implementation called NANT is there, NANT, N for .NET, N for net. NANT is there, which is semantically same. Little bit of syntax will change. Otherwise, what ANT does for Java, NANT does for .NET. Okay. So this is the location where you can download Apache ANT. We have done that. When it comes to setup, latest zip file we downloaded, unzip into a directory, set up the 3 environment variables, ANT home, Java home, then ANT home /bin to the path. Okay. So we have done this setup. Now let's move on to how does your script look like. How does your script look like? See, in ANT, the fundamental, every ANT script will contain one root node that is called project. So every ANT script or BUILD.XML or build script, all these are the same words. Every build script will have a project as the root node. So every project will have a name. Every project will have a name. And a project can have multiple targets. A project can have multiple targets. A target can have multiple tasks. A target can have multiple tasks. So what is task? A task is a unit level execution in ANT. Copy, move, delete, make directory, compile code, create jar. So all these things are fundamentally tasks. A target is a collection of these tasks. A collection of such targets is your project. So project will have a set of targets. Target will have a set of tasks. This is the general structure of your build script. If you are familiar with any programming language, if you are, say, for example, with C or with Java, generally the execution starts from main function. Similarly, every project will have a default target. This is the target from where your execution will start. So to summarize, the root node of a build script is a project. A project will have a set of targets. A target will have a set of tasks. A task is the unit level execution in ANT, and every project will have a default target where the execution will start, where the default execution will start. Okay, so at this point, let's just go and write our script on these lines so that you can understand better. So what I will do now is start writing my first ANT script. Okay, so right click, create any text file. Okay, name it as build.xml. Name it as build.xml. Edit it. So as I told you, I will have project as my, you can give any name, okay. So a project will have, every ANT script will have project as its root node. This is XML syntax. So every start tag must be closed by appropriate end tag. Please note that. And a project can have multiple targets. Every target will have a name. Okay, so a project can have targets, and the target will have tasks. So the first task that I will take for the discussion is echo. Echo is a task which is used for printing something onto your console command line. Okay, echo is a print statement. So target echo, this is target 1. So what I have written now is a simple ANT script where there is a project node. In the project node there is a target. Inside target there is a task. And to ensure that this target executes, I have to say default. Default means what is the first target that should run. I can say default is equal to target 1. So what I am saying is this is a build script. Okay, where the default is target 1, and inside target 1 I am printing a statement, this is target 1. Okay, that is what I have written now. Now let me go and execute this. So I went to the location where my build.xml is placed. I went to the location where my build.xml is available. Okay, and then I type ANT. Just I need to type ANT. It will automatically look for a file called build.xml in this location, and it will execute that build.xml. ANT. You can see here it looked for the build file called build.xml and went into the default target, executed the default target and completed it. Okay, this is how we execute our simple ANT script. Okay, now let me just try to extend this on these lines. So I can say target 1, I'll say target 2. Okay. Let me name it, this is target 2. In ANT, you can set dependencies between the targets. What does it mean? It means that if I want to run this target, first I want that target to be run. That is called target dependencies. For example, if you have a target called jar creation. Now naturally, if you want to create jar, what is the dependent step? You want to compile first. Without compilation, how can you create a jar file? So jar target will depend on the compilation target. So if you want certain targets, if you are running certain targets, if you want to make sure that the targets depend on some other targets, you have a facility in ANT to set dependencies. have a facility in ANT to set dependencies. I can say target name is equal to target2, depends is equal to target1, depends is equal to. So, and let me say, I say default starts as target2. So, can you explain the flow, understand the flow? When the script executes, always default will start. So, control has come here, but target2 depends upon target1 to execute. So, it will go to target1, complete this target1, come back, then go and complete the contents of target2 and execute. So, default is target2. The execution will start at target2. Since target2 depends upon target1, it will come and complete target1 first. Then it will come back and complete the target2. Okay, this is how you set dependencies between the targets. Let us go and execute this. So, ANT. If you see, when you type ANT, what happened? First it went default is target2, it went to target2, okay, then but target2 depends target1, so it came and completed target1, came back and completed the target2, okay. If you are familiar with programming language, it is something like method calls. If you call another method inside a method, then it will go and execute that and come back and continue the rest of the method on the similar lines. Let me take my third target. I will say target 3 depends on target 2. Now let me make my default target as target 3. So if you see now what will happen? Default is target 3. 3 depends on 2. So it will control will go to 2. Target 2 depends on target 1. So first target 1 is executed, return back. Target 2 is executed, return back. Target 3 is executed. Okay. You can see target 1, target 2, target 3. Here what I am trying to demonstrate is that a target can depend on multiple targets. Okay. Here target 3 depends on target 1, target 2. Okay. Now first target 3 depends on target 1. So it will go and execute target 1. There are no other dependencies. Complete, come back. Then target 3 depends on target 2. Go. But it depends on internally target 1, but this is already executed. Remember, even though in the dependency path you will find a target coming again and again, but ANT executes one target only once. Whenever you are writing these dependencies, ANT will construct a dependency path and it will execute the targets only once. So target 3 depends target 1, it will go to target 1. There are no other dependencies, execute it, come back. Then go to target 2. Target 2 depends on target 1, but target 1 is already executed in ANT. So it will not do it again. So execute, come back, and then it will execute the target 3. So even though you see target 1 2 times in dependencies, it won't execute 2 times. It will execute only once. So that is how you get this execution path. Okay. Then making things little more complicated. For now, I will just take this target 3 away. Okay. If I say target 1, if I say target 1, okay, depends target 2, what will happen? Target 1 depends target 2, but you are saying target 2 depends as target 1. What do you think will happen here? As you can see in the execution path, you are calling target 2 as default, 2 depends on 1, but 1 depends on 2, so it will be a cycle detected in the dependency path. which will stop the build from execution. So if you run the script now, clearly it says there is circular dependency. You are starting from target 2. Okay, this is how ANT will construct the dependency path. You are starting from target 2. Target 2 depends on target 1, but target 1 depends on target 2. So in the dependency path, a node is repeating, which is nothing but a cycle. That is why it stops the build saying there is a circular dependency. Okay. So quickly going through our structure of the build file. So you are clear now that there is a project tag. You are clear now that there is every project will have a default target, and a project can have multiple targets. Target can have multiple tasks. So this is something that we have discussed. So the begin and end tags for project must be start and end of the file. I think you are clear with that. Every project node will have a attribute called default, which is the name of one of the targets. The execution will start from that target. That is the meaning. Each build file must have at least one target. The beginning and end tags for targets are here. You can understand that. Every target must have a name. That's how you recognize a particular target. Targets can depend on others and they are optional. It's not that mandatorily targets should depend on others. Anything that you write between echo tags is outputted to the console, is outputted to the command line. Now you can execute the script from a DOS or Unix. As I told you, there is not much of a difference in the script. The same script can run on Windows or Linux. Okay. Then when you type ANT, what will it do? It will search for the build.xml file in the directory, okay, and then execute the tasks. A project is a collection of targets. Okay. Each build script will have one project. A target is a fixed series of ANT tasks, and the tasks run in a specified order. Targets can depend on other targets. A target represents an item to be created. Call it a jar or call it a group of things. Call it compilation. A target is a logical word which represents a series of related events. Task is a unit level execution. Compile, copy, replace, okay, and most tasks will have a lot of convenient default values so that you can use the task pretty easily. So target is a set of tasks. So when no target is given, the project default target will be used. Targets can be conditionally executed, means on a condition you can say this target can run, if not this target should run, something like that. Target can depend on other targets, you know that. Target dependencies are transitive, which means if A target depends on B target, target B depends on target C, then it is implied that target A depends on target C. Just an example of what we discussed, there is a target A, okay. There is a target B that depends on A. Okay. There is a target C that depends on A. There is a target D that depends on B comma C. So when just imagine default target is D. Okay. Just imagine default target is D. So first control will go to D, but D depends on B, right? So B, but B depends on A. So first A will be executed, comes back. Then B will be executed, then it will come back here since B is complete. Then it will go to C. C depends on A, but A is already done. So it comes back. It doesn't do anything, complete C. Then it will execute D. So the path is going to be first A is executed, then B, then C, and finally D. If you want to see detailed output of ANT, you have two options. One is ANT-V, verbose. It will give the details about what is your ANT version, okay, what is your OS, what is your Java version, what are the sequence of the targets, and it will execute the targets and then give you more detailed output. Another way to get detailed output is ANT-D, debug mode. It will also give you details about what is the sequence, which targets are to be executed, what are the properties, what are the values of the properties. Everything will be given. So ANT-V, ANT-D. These are the ways how you debug your ANT scripts. Verbose mode as well as the debug mode, -V, -D. Okay. Now, if you open this build.xml again, see, if you just say ANT, it will go with the default target. Come, and if the target has any dependencies, run those dependencies and complete the script. That will be the default path. Instead of that, if you want only to run one particular target, you can say ANT space target 1. So it will only run the target 1. Only target 1. So why do you need this? Generally, when you are developing a build script, which have around 20 to 30 tasks, sometimes you may need to test each task, each target. It may have 20 to 30 targets. So you need to have a unit, that's a unit level development plan. You write a target, run it, check it is working, then you go to next target like that. So with this you can run individual targets also. ANT space name of the target. Right. Now if you say ANT space target 2, what will happen? You can see target 1, target 2. This is because even though you want to execute target 2 only, but internally target 2 depends, so it will execute target 2 as well as its dependencies. But since target 1 does not have any dependencies, it executed target 1 in the previous instance. But here when you want to execute target 2, it has some dependencies with it. So whenever you want to run a particular target in ANT, you say ANT followed by the name of the target. It will run that target and its dependencies. That is the summary line that I want you to understand. By default, if you type ANT, it will look for a file called build.xml in the current location and executes it. Suppose you don't want to name the file as build. Okay. You can do that. First you rename the file. Okay. So build1. Okay. If you say this and if you type ANT, it says build.xml does not exist. So by default it cannot detect that file. But if you want ANT to detect that file, you have to say ANT -f. -f stands for file name. Build1.xml. Then it will go and execute it. So by default you need to have the file with name build.xml. Okay, alternatively, if you want to have a file name with differently, you have to call ANT with -f followed by the actual name of the file.